1 minute of the basketball game remains. The crowd is going crazy as the home team is up by 7. Then, the visiting team's star player takes over. He hits a three-pointer, steals the ball, and then hits another 3. Now 42 seconds are left in regulation, and the home crowd starts to become quiet as the comfortable lead has all but disappeared. Your friend, who's rooting for the visiting team, texts you, P and Q. You, who are rooting for the home team, text back, L or T. Then your friend texts, not L. You text back, W arrow D. Words are being replaced by single letters. For example, the common LOL stands for laugh out loud. But with the demand for increasingly quicker texting, it seems that statements may not be too far behind. For example, instead of using LOL to mean I'm laughing out loud, people may start just using the letter L. This is making the language of logic the new text messaging language. An onlooker may have no idea what the abbreviations shown mean, and indeed, the meanings of such shorthands may change depending on the context. However, certain parts are recognizable, or and not are recognizable enough, and a texter will probably know that N apostrophe stands for and. As for the arrow, we'll just pretend it's come into common usage, so that W arrow D will mean if W, then D, as in, if the visiting team wins, then dinner's on me. To satisfy your curiosity, I'll now translate the other made-up statements. P and Q was used to mean he's playing and he's quieting the crowd. L or T was used to mean the visiting team is losing or the game is going into overtime, as in a tie. Not L means the visiting team is not losing. So what does the language of logic have to do with all of this? In logic, we use individual letters to represent statements. For example, here we used P to represent the statement he's playing, and Q to represent he's quieting the crowd. L is used to mean the visiting team is losing, and T is used to mean the game is going into overtime. W is used as an abbreviation for the visiting team wins, and D was used as a shorthand for dinner's on me. But we could have also used them all to mean something completely different. For example, we could have used L to mean the home team is losing instead of the visiting team is losing. The stuff that doesn't change are those connectives connecting and modifying the statements. The ands, ors, nots, and if-thens. In logic, we have special designated symbols for each of these. Spike up the lowercase n to what looks like an upside-down V, and you get logic's typical and sign. The V sign is used for or, the tilde is used for not, and the arrow for if-then. So the statements mentioned before would be expressed as follows in logic. P upside down V, Q, L, V, T, tilde, L, and W arrow D. Now let's try translating some variations of the previous statements into the language of logic using the meanings we gave to the letters before. So let's start off by translating, he's playing and the visiting team wins. A possible answer would be P upside down V, W. Now let's try another example. Either he's playing or the visiting team is losing. A possible answer is P, V, L. Okay, let's try a third example. He's not playing. A possible answer to this would be tilde P. Okay, now let's try, if he's playing, then the visiting team wins. A possible answer to this one would be P arrow W. And finally, if he's not playing, then the visiting team is losing. A possible answer is tilde P arrow L. Now let's do the reverse. Let's try translating logic text messages into English using the meanings we gave to the letters before. So let's start off with W upside down V D. A possible translation for this would be, the visiting team wins and dinner's on me. How about W V T? A possible translation for this would be, the visiting team wins or the game is going into overtime. Now let's try tilde T. A possible translation is, the game is not going into overtime. Now let's try P arrow Q. A possible translation for this would be, if he's playing, then he's quieting the crowd. And finally, tilde P arrow tilde W. A translation for this is, if he's not playing, then the visiting team does not win.